I always say I cook with love. Somebody says, why does that taste so good? I said, because I cook with love. My name's Patty Miller, and I'm the head chef at the Yukon Response Base on the Yukon River. So today I'm going to show you how to make the infamous YRB carrot cake. Why I say infamous is because it's a recipe that was handed down to me from a person who was the head chef at YRB. Her name was Doris Crockett. It was when it was Pump 6, and they called her Brucey. And she made this carrot cake, and it was back in the time when the truck drivers were allowed to come into the PLQ and have lunch. And so they'd put it out over the CB that Brucey had made carrot cake, and then everybody would come and get it. And so I was fortunate enough that Joel Westerland, who is a retired Alyeska worker, had a copy of this recipe in her handwriting, and he shared it with me, and I've been using it at YRB ever since. It is very important to me to make people feel good. And when you're away from home for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 10 weeks, some of those guys are there for really, really long periods of time. And sometimes the only enjoyment that they get in their day is what they find in food. It can be 45 degrees below zero and freezing outside and the wind blowing and everything. But then when they come in and they eat and they say, oh my gosh, that was so good, it warms my heart every day. I don't just throw the ingredients in the pot. And they've come to say things like, when are you making this? Or when are we going to have this? Or can we have this? And if I happen to be there for a holiday, then holiday celebrations are just as if they were my family. And I have people come from other places because they want to come and have our holiday meal at YRB. I'm making them happy, or making their time away from home a little less tedious. Great guys, and I love doing it for them. Betsy Haynes came to visit my camp right before Christmas. All she kept talking about was these cookies, and she just kept telling everybody about these cookies. My manager, Renee Guevara, called me one day while I was here at home, and he said, you're going to be in a call tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock from Alyeska. So the next morning, 10 o'clock, sitting there having my cup of coffee, the phone rings. This is Betsy Haynes, the president of Alyeska Pipeline Services. I said, what can I do for you? And she goes, no, it's something I'm going to do for you. And then she told me about the award. I was very quiet and careful not to let her know, but there were tears just streaming down my face. I couldn't have been happier at that moment. She explained to me what it was, that it wasn't just an Atigun, it was a president's Atigun. She said, I did not have one person tell me that you didn't deserve this. And she said, so I made this award, and I made it for you. My heart grew 10 sizes that day. It's just heartwarming, to know that people want to come on Saturdays because not only is it burger day, but it's hand-pressed burgers. On spaghetti night, it's homemade rolls. On Fridays, it's homemade pizza crust. Full people are happy people. If they've got enough to eat and it's good and they enjoy it, they're happy. The morale is much better if they're getting satisfied at their meals. The majority of the people bring so much joy to me as much as, as I try to do to them. But I never ever expect that that's going to come back to me. And when it did, and when it does, just like with this award, it makes me so prideful and so humbled to know that people think of me like that.